What's going on, guys? My name is Garrett, and today I am starting a series on HTML5 and where to begin if you know nothing, and if you know stuff already, you can just polish up your skills. I am by no means a expert at HTML5, but I do know my way around the language, and I'm just gonna start off with talking about what you need in order to write this code. So first of all, what you're going to need is you're going to need something called a text editor. And a text editor just basically um, allows you to write code and recognizes that code for you, which you will then upload to a server for uh, the web browser to read. So first off, you can use any text editor. A really popular one for Windows is Notepad++, which is basically Notepad, but it's completely for writing HTML and CSS and other types of code. There's one on the Mac. Notepad++ is only Windows, and then there's one on the Mac called Espresso, which is really nice. And there's another one which is I think is a little bit more popular, and it's called Coda, which is also really nice. I've used this one, and I've also used Espresso, and they're both great tools. Sublime Text 3, this is just Sublime Text, but they have an alpha out for Sublime Text 3, which you can get for free. I think this one might cost money. Yeah, you have to pay for it. I believe Coda 2 is $70, and I think Espresso is around the same. It doesn't say right. Yeah, 75 for Espresso, and then Coda is, I don't know. I think it's about $70 as well. But and then of course you can just use Dreamweaver, which is what I'll be using. I don't necessarily like Dreamweaver. I'm just using it for this video. So this is a basic text editor, and you can write whatever you want in here. It's basically a glorified Word document. It just recognizes tags and things like that. So you could even write your code in a Word document as long as you'd be able to. I don't know if Word lets you save it as HTML, but you could write it in TextEdit on a Mac, or you could write it in Notepad on a PC and then just save it as an HTML file. And then if you opened it up in a text editor, which recognizes HTML, or if you uploaded that to a site, it would read it perfectly well as long as your code is written. The glory or the beauty of having a text editor is that they kind of speed up your workflow, and will have, as you start to type something, like as I start to do this, it has all these shortcuts for basically what I want to do. So let's start off with HTML5, and the first thing you want to do is you want to basically tell the browser that it's about to read an HTML5 document, and the code that you need to write for that is greater than sign. I think that's greater than sign. Doc type, and this can be in caps or lowercase. I like to do it in caps. But that is basically that right there is telling the browser that this is an HTML5 document. And now, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to write your opening HTML brackets. And these right here are called tags. So this is a doc type tag, and this is an HTML tag. And when you open a tag, it looks like this, with the greater than sign, and then whatever you have inside, and then it closes like that. And then when you want to close something, it's just that same thing, greater than sign, / HTML. Alright, or whatever you're closing. So this is an opening tag, and this is a closing tag. Notice the difference. It's very important. If you do something like this, where it's HTML and then HTML, it won't work correctly. So we're just going to go ahead and close that up again. The other thing you're going to need is you're going to need something called a head tag. Let's go ahead and close that. And basically what this is the head doesn't display on the site, but it loads and tells the browser certain things that you want that specific page to do. So, certain things that always go in your HTML head section are links to different style sheets, links to different JavaScript files, links to web fonts. You can do meta tags, which I'll get to in a second, which are basically telling the browser and that for that page that you want that page to be in certain language, or you can tell it that you can put in your personal name for designing that specific or writing that code for that specific page. So we're going to go ahead and write a meta tag. And we're going to say content HTML and then we're also going to say charset UTF-8, which is basically English. That's what that stands for. And now you can also go in and you can say that you want this page to have a certain amount of keywords that you will then open up. So you're saying that this meta tag's name is keywords, and the content for the keywords will be HTML or whatever your site is. So if you're, a corporate business that does restaurants or something, I don't know, you can just say like food, and you can say what kind of food, pizza, and you can say pepperonis, and you can say bread, you can say Italian. I mean, there's all these different things. You could write in a bunch, and then what that'll do is that'll basically tell Google that these are the keywords for that page, and you want Google to index those keywords. And I forgot to close that guy right there. Now, what we're doing, and this right here, the reason why this looks different than this is when you open a meta tag, you actually don't put this in. You don't put that closing thing in because you want to have all this content. You're specifying certain parameters here, and then your closing is just like this. So this content is within the meta tag, and then this is all within the head. So think of it as layers. Think of it as, okay, I'm opening my text, my HTML5 document, and I'm closing it here. Underneath this layer, there's an HTML tag, and then a closing HTML tag, and then underneath that HTML tag there's a head tag, and then underneath the head tag there's these meta tags here. And I'll go over how to link CSS, how you would link CSS files and then JavaScript files in a future video, but that's basically the most important thing for head is putting in your meta tags, and then also putting in your your title. Now you're saying, what is this title tag? What does this mean? Well, whatever I type in here is going to show up right here on this tab. So if I type in my first web page, save that off, go to preview in Chrome, it pops up right there, my first web page, and you can change that to whatever you want. Usually people just put whatever their name is, or whatever the site is, the main name for the site, and then whatever you put there, Google also indexes for main keywords. So you can say my first web page, learn web design, learn coding, and then these will be indexed into Google's keywords so that um, someone when someone searches these things, this will somewhat pop up depending on the competition of these keywords. Keywords is um, a whole nother series of videos that you could do it on. It's pretty intense, keywords, but we'll just go back to my first web page. So that is there. And now, what you want to do is the next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to put in your body tag. And just think of this as a paragraph. All your content that's going to show up, and that is all super important, is in your body tag. So think of this as, just a body paragraphs. So all your really important content goes in here. And so this is where everything that's going to show up on the web page is in the body. So now, what goes inside the body is anything. I can write hello there. I can save this off, preview in Chrome, and it pops up right there. And there you have your first text that you've written, and this is automatically placed when there's no tags around. When there's no tags around it, it automatically gets placed within a paragraph tag. So that's that there. I think that's all for now, guys. I will be continuing on in the next episode of this series, and we will start talking about just very basic tags to start writing your websites. So this is just the very beginning. I hope you stay along for the series and enjoy. So take it easy, guys. We'll talk soon.